Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and for the last week I've been driving the 2026 Toyota Camry XSE. Up front is a 2.5 liter inline-4 as well as a hybrid system, and down below is an eCVT. Now I am super excited to be making this video here today because I've spent the last week driving the Camry and I have to say I've been pretty happy with it. Now there's nothing really too groundbreaking about the 26 over the 25. The 2025 was the brand new generation of the Camry, and the 26 really just gets some different options and this new Cosmos color. But I'm excited to share with you one of my favorite Camrys that I've driven. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackbradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that hybrid system under the hood. Well, it's a 2.5 liter inline-4 as well as Toyota's 5th generation hybrid system. It makes 232 horsepower. And I gotta be honest, this thing is actually pretty fun to drive. I was taking some highway off-ramps last night. I was driving a little bit more twisty roads than I normally do, and it actually keeps up pretty well. And you say, oh, 232 horsepower, that's nearly 40 more horsepower than the 1999 Camry V6 that everyone loved. But this is a really, really fun drive in terms of Camry-ness. Now, like I said, paired to it is an eCVT. That's a little bit less fun to drive with. However, I really do trust Toyota's eCVTs. They haven't really seemed to have any problems with them, and I like to see that. Last but not least, this Camry is all-wheel drive. So how does it feel to drive the Camry XSE? Well, it actually is pretty great, as I mentioned. It is sportier. This does have the sporty suspension for the XSE, and honestly, I'm pretty happy with it. Driving it in a mundane fashion in stop-and-go traffic, it's still pretty good. It's going to be a Camry. This is the base level. This is the standard when it comes to how a sedan should drive, and the Camry has always kind of been the golden standard since its debut. So I like it quite a bit. Visibility is good. Ride quality is good. Again, it has the sport-tuned suspension for this particular model. There's a little bit of wind noise. It is still a Camry at the end of the day, so expect what you're going to expect. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a completely digital gauge cluster, and I've been very vocal about this style of gauge cluster from Toyota. It's pretty busy. There's a lot to look at, lots of different shapes and colors and things, and it can be a little bit overwhelming at a quick glance. On the steering wheel on the left, we do have our selectors for that gauge cluster screen as well as our volume and voice commands. And off to the right, we have our adaptive cruise control, skip track, and mode. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, automatic high beams, traction control off, gauge dimmer switch, camera view button, and our trunk release, along with gas cap release. And moving on to the door, we have our latch to get in and out, surrounded by this really nice red perforated leather. And down below, we have 2 memory seats, power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. Moving into the center, we have our infotainment display. This does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. However, nothing really beyond that. I wish that it got some extra fun pages like the plug-in hybrids do, where it tells you where the power is being sent and what the electricity and what the motors are doing and all that stuff. I wish that we got that. You don't here, but definitely not a game ender. Down below, we have physical climate controls. Love to see this, especially because the RAV4 is moving away from physical climate controls. I would have to imagine that this will probably be the final Camry generation to get physical climate controls, so get them while the getting's good. But it works well. Dual zone heated and ventilated seats. Love to see that. Then we have a hazard switch and climate control vents, and down below we have a USB-A as well as 2 USB-Cs and a wireless charger, so all of your charging needs will be met. We do have the shifter. Nothing too new there. And then we have 3 drive modes for Eco, Normal, and Sport. We also have our auto holding brake and our EV mode, along with the power parking brake. Off to the right, we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Camry. It fails. We knew it would, but we still gotta test it. And Then we get our center console with a 12-volt outlet. So if the two USB-Cs, USB-A, or wireless charger don't work, you can always plug into the 12-volt outlet. The seats are red. They are heated, ventilated, power, and memory. They are comfortable enough. I wouldn't say that I'm sinking into them like my grandmother's couch. However, they hold me within the vehicle. They're relatively sporty enough, and they are very, very red. So if you like red seats, boy, is Toyota ready to sell you an automobile. However, speaking of seats, we have even more red seats around the back, so let's do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2026 Toyota Camry, and again, it's perfectly adequate. Sitting somewhat normally, my knees are not hitting the seat in front of me, my head's not hitting the ceiling, I'm 5'11" and not a small guy, so I fit fine enough. The crown is going to offer a little bit more space. However, I don't like the crown as much as a car, so honestly, I would still stick with the Camry. And of course, Toyota has tons of family options, whether that be RAV4, Highlander, Grand Highlander, Sequoia, 4Runner, all with better back seats. So this isn't really the main focus of the car, but what I do like is the fact that the red seats carry on back here. Not every automaker, when they do cool colored front seats, carries that on to the back seats, but Toyota has done that here for the Camry. I also do get climate vents, sometimes forgotten in this segment of vehicle, and 2 USB-C chargers. We also get a center console with 2 cup holders. So lots to love back here. Nothing really groundbreaking, but nice to see. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, around the back of the Camry XSE, over between the R and the Y of Camry, there's actually a little button. And once we are back here, this is actually some like dealer accessory stuff and whatnot. Front plate bracket that I hope no one drills in. But there we go. This is the rear trunk of the Camry. Nothing special. Again, we can pull this up, and we do get a spare tire as well as some tools found down there. So that is the cargo space of the Camry. You'll love to see it. Now we got to talk about the looks, and as I mentioned, this is a new color, Cosmos Gray. I like it. I think it works well, especially with the black wheels and the red interior. I think this is a relatively stylish and kind of hip and sporty Camry. So I have to say, visually, it's actually pretty good. It's also still understated enough. You're not going to get attention in traffic. You're not going to shut down the local cars and coffee when you pull in. But that's kind of the whole point of the Camry. They can blend into the background a little bit. This just feels a little bit more personalized. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the 2026 Toyota Camry XSE for the last week? Well, it's good. It's really good. Not that it was ever not going to be. I mean, this is the white bread toast of the automotive industry, meaning if you have a bad stomach, it's a safe bet. If you have a good day, it's a safe bet. It's never going to steer you wrong. Now, I'm happy that Toyota does offer some flares. Toyota is a very corporate brand, and so the fact that they offer red seats is somewhat mind-blowing at the end of the day. But overall, this car is simple. It works. It functions well. 2026 isn't much different from 25, but that's a good thing. They didn't need to go changing the recipe. It's like when Coke came out with new Coke in the 80s. Why did they do that? It was already selling well. They didn't need to reinvent the wheel. Toyota doesn't need to do anything flashy to make the Camry good. It's already still good. Anyone who buys a Camry, I consider to be a relatively smart person because they offer a very good amount of features, reliability, and sensibility in the package that they give. So I'm sorry, this video isn't the craziest video you've seen on my channel. This isn't a rare Japanese domestic market vehicle. This isn't a Cold War vehicle. This isn't something strange pulled out of a museum or a one-off custom. It's a 2026 Camry. But for people that don't need something crazy, for people that have brains wired in a normal way and not in the way that I do, where I need something odd and strange to drive, this is a great choice. It's always been a great choice since its conception, and I'm very happy to see that it continues to be that way. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Drive Shop for facilitating the cleaning and delivery of this vehicle. Huge thank you to Toyota for letting me borrow it for the last week, and of course, the Midwest Automotive Media Association. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys. you.